What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Seth the Line Surgeon, and you already know what time it is. Tipsy Talk. That's right, people. 2 tipsy talks in a row. For me, it's in a row. For y'all, it's 2 days in a row. Today, I have a story for you guys. It's gonna be a long story, so sit back, get your snack, and sip on some yak. I'm gonna tell y'all about my first and only commercial experience. A lot of people who follow me remember back in 2016 when me and BJ used to go cut that commercial property. I guess I'll say what it was. I'm not gonna say exactly what it was because my thing is, I think I said it back in the videos when I was making this back in 2016. Y'all can do some research and go check that out when I used to cut it. But it was a children's home, right? So back in 2014, right? I had a customer. She used to work at this place, and the place was like 45 minutes from my house. She said, yeah, they're looking for somebody to cut the property. Mind you, the property total was like 45 acres, 44 acres or something like that. They only had like 30 or 20 acres cleared. The rest of it was like a lake, a pond or something, with a campground or something. It was different stuff on the property. But where the buildings were, it was only like 20 acres cleared, 15 or something like that. And they wanted me to maintain, I'm gonna say it was legit. It was legit probably like 10 acres that was cleared. But of that 10 acres, I was only cutting, I would say, about 5 acres. Because there was a lot of parking lots and stuff like that. But it was about 7 buildings we had to maintain. So I went to this children's home. Like I said, this goes back when I told you I made that video, fake it till you make it, bro. In 2014, this was my second year. Well, this was my 3rd year business, my second full, like, going at it bit year. My setup was the Mustang, the Timemaster. I think I had just got my first Echo PAS. So that was pretty much my setup. And I'm going down here to quote this big old property. Like I'm a big business. And so I went down and I got dressed up. I went down prior, and like I told y'all in my last video yesterday, I used to do graphic design. So I actually drew a rough draft map of the actual premises, the area she wanted me to give a quote for, and I graphic design actual map laying out the property. And the reason I did this is because I didn't know what building she wanted me to cut, right? So I said, this property, this building is this much, 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 this field over here is this much to cut, this over here is this much to cut, right? So I laid it out, broke it down, went in there with a whole little pamphlet and everything. She was blown away. So, but I guess she wasn't so blown away because I didn't get a job. But that was in 2014. So I guess, you know, my price was too high. Because my thing is, to me, that job was big. It was bigger, 10 times bigger than anything that I had ever tried to quote or would have ever cut at that time. And so I really overquoted myself. Because my thing is, I said, I don't want to underquote myself and be mad. I'd rather overquote myself. If I don't get it, I don't get it. Plus, it's like far away from my house. And if she does like me, we can negotiate. I can talk the price down. Wait till y'all hear how much I quoted it for. I mean, maybe it was too much, but hey, I don't know. So, 2014 went by, 2015 went by, 2016 went by, and she called me back. She was like, hey, you know, we really liked you. We want you to see if you come back down. Maybe we could work on the price. And I said, okay, cool. So, like I said, I felt my price was fair. Like I said, I quoted a lot. Let me explain. I said I quoted a lot. But for each building, like basically, I quoted each building. This building is like $70. This building is like $50. This building is like $120. You know, the bigger building. This building is like $100. The field is like $100. Because it was like a big old field. You know what I mean? It was like 2 fields. So when you added all that stuff up, it came to like $700. And so in my mind, I thought that was fair. And so I went to her. She said, you know, we really like you. We want to work with you, but we can't afford that. And so I asked her, I said, well, how much can you afford? Because I said $700 bi-weekly. So that would have been like $1,400, right? Which is not bad. Commercial property. I didn't think that was bad. I said, what can you afford? She said, we want to pay you $1,200 and we want to get it cut weekly. And I said, well, $1,200. I said, well, if we take this off and this off, I can go down to $600 and I can cut it bi-weekly. You know, I said that'll meet y'all's $1,200 a month price point, and I'll still be getting paid a fair amount that I think I should get paid. So she said, okay, that works. When can you start? And this was probably like a Tuesday or something like that. Tuesday, Wednesday. I said, well, I can start this weekend. She said, oh, that's great, you know. So I said, all right. Now, here's where I made my biggest mistake. You know, taking the word from this, you know, this person. I ain't gonna say who she is. One of the higher ups there. I wasn't as pressed to get the contract signed as I should have been. I was just excited that $1,200 a month. Shoot, that's more than I'm like at the time. That was $1,200 a month was more than I made all month with all my other clients. And I could make that in 2 days. Shoot. So I sent her the contract. Came down. Me and BJ went down that Saturday. That first Saturday, bro, it took us 7 hours to cut. Legit 6 hours and some change, almost 7 hours, and that's between. I think that's between driving down and driving back, right? So I sent her the contract. You know, I was like, you know, I need you to sign the contract. I'll pick it up. You know, you can leave it. I'll pick it up. So the next week, in between, because I'm cutting every 2 weeks. So this was like, mind you, this is like the first week in August. Cut. Next week, I'm calling her and said, I need you to sign the contract. You know, oh, well, I have to show it to our board. Our board has to approve it and blah, blah, blah. So we get to the next week where the second cut comes up, right? I'm like, bro, like, I still haven't got the contract signed. We go down there and cut it again. I know y'all like, oh, Seth, you messed it up. This is my first commercial property. Anywho, go down there and cut it again. This time while we're cutting it, her like assistant comes up. She pulls up, she introduces herself, and she's like, yeah, you know, how often are you guys cutting it? And I'll tell her we're cutting it every week. I mean, every 2 weeks. And I'm like, but it's fat. Like, we cut it, and it was legit higher than it was before we cut it. And so I'm like, I see why y'all wanted to cut every week. This grass grows really fast. And so she said, all right, yeah, well, would you be able to cut it every week? I said, yeah, I can cut it every week. And so what I'll do is I'll send a new contract. If you can get that signed before next week, I'll come back next week, right? So, didn't get the contract signed. Guess what I did? I came back the next week. So mind you, August, I cut beginning of August, 2 weeks went by, cut in the middle of August, a week went by, I cut again, and then at the beginning of September, I cut again. And so the way I reworked the check, the way I reworked the contract, right, is what I do with my customers is we do a payment plan, right? I add up all the, like I say, all right, you want me to cut 14 times over the season. 14 times 50 is whatever amount, and you want to pay that. The cutting season might be 7 months, but you want to pay it over 10 months to kind of reduce your costs. So that's what I did with them. I said, all right, so I calculated the 2 cuts I already did, plus cutting weekly for the rest of the season, and divided it into a certain amount of months. Came out to be like $1,200, which was the price point they wanted, right? So, like I said, I already cut 4 times in August. Went to get my check. She gave me $1,200, but she says, oh, I talked to the board and they don't want to do a payment plan. They want to pay as they go. And I said, well, wait a minute. It's 2 problems here. All right. Number one, if you want to pay as you go, I can't be cutting it weekly. Because $1,200 is not going to work. If you're going to pay as you go, you're going to have to pay $2,400. I said, as of right now, you owe me $2,400. But you just gave me this check for $1,200. So now you owe me $1,200. And she's like, oh, what? We owe you $1,200. I said, yeah. So I said, what we got to do, if y'all want to do it that way, we got to go back to doing it every other week. So that's what we did. September, I cut it twice, right? And so I said, you know, once the season is over, you know, as long as they keep paying me the $1,200 a month, once the season is over, then I worry about getting the other money. So Like I said, they owed me $1,200. Kept on cutting. Never got a signed contract. And at the end of September, I called her to come pick up my check. Oh, we having money problems. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pay or whatever. And I'm like, bruh, I'm like, ma'am, I have cut this amount. Y'all owe me this amount. And so at this point, I think they owe me $1,200 because it's two. They already owe me $1,200. Now for the next two cuts in September, they owe me another $1,200. That's $2,400. So she said, well, we can give you $600. I said, okay. I went down there and got the check. I said, all right, once y'all catch up, then I can come back and start cutting. So she gave me the $600. Then she can call me like 2 days later, ask, oh, we having some type of event. Would you be able to come cut? And I was like, no. No. I was like, if you want me to cut, you need to cut me a check, you know. So that was the last time I cut. I didn't go down there and cut no more. And I'm not telling y'all this story to scare y'all off of commercial properties. I'm just saying, get your contract signed, get your paperwork in order before you jump into bed with a commercial company. Because it's bigger money, you know what I mean? Do I regret it? No. It was very good experience, bro. Like after cutting that big property, going through scouting it and making a game plan. Like me and BJ, like I said, the first time me and BJ went down there, took us 6 hours to cut. 7 hours of travel time. 6 hours to cut. The next time we went down there, it took us 4 hours. I think one time we might have cut it in 3. But we averaged probably about 4 hours to cut this property. And so it's like now I'm not intimidated by anything. Like, you know, it doesn't matter how big something is. Like, nothing is bigger than that. And, yeah, so that's my commercial nightmare experience. And so after she still owed me the $1,800, I kind of went back and forth, because I'm like, technically I probably could have sued. Technically I probably could have sued, because even though I didn't have an official contract signed, I still had a response in an email. Because I made sure when I was sending her emails, I said, do you want me to go ahead with this contract? And so she said, yes, I want you to do the contract. So I had it in email. So I technically could have took that to court. But I'm like, bro, it was kind of a, I don't know, it was a children's song. It was I don't know. But business is business. I should have sued, but I didn't. Just wrote it off. Like I said, I was still part-time, and so I took it as a learning experience. Anywho, that's my lesson for today. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. Stay tuned. Yes, sir.